We're standing at the end of the pier at Bowmore, the island's capital. We can look up to the round church, which is at the top of the main street, and seeing all the little houses around us. This village was founded in 1768. Here is Bowmore Distillery, where it has the oldest records on the island of distilling whisky from 1779, though it's thought it probably started before that, as the village was here before, and with its distinctive pagoda roofs. We've spent an enjoyable time in Bowmore Distillery trying their #1 whisky, which is good for at breakfast time, which we'd never heard of before. But anyway, it was very pleasant, and so pleasant that we bought the bottle. This, as the sign says, is the maltman's cottage, and coming from that direction we can certainly smell the malt wafting out to us. Bowmore Distillery is one of the most innovative of the distilleries, for the waste heat that they produce is used to heat this swimming pool and leisure centre, which in a renovated warehouse, and with funds from the island's various places. It was built in the 1970s. This is the round church at Bowmore, the parish church, and it was built in 1767 by Daniel Campbell, who was the principal laird of Islay, and it replaced the medieval parish church, which is now in the grounds of Islay House in Bridgend. The octagonal tower and stone cupola fit well into the traditions of 18th century Scottish civic architecture. A folksy explanation of the round church is that it was built that way so there would be no corners for the devil to hide in. Whatever the truth, it is a very beautiful building, very striking, and something of an architectural gem. We've driven a few miles out of Bowmore, and now we're walking up to the monument to John Francis Campbell. John Francis Campbell was born in 1821 and died in 1885. He was the son of the last laird of Islay, and the inscription on the monument reads that he was an eminent scholar, linguist, scientist and traveller, a true patriotic highlander, loved alike by peer and peasant. But although he was a world traveller and respected public figure, it was as a collector and publisher of Gaelic folk tales that his major achievements lay. We've come a few miles along the road from the monument to John Francis Campbell, and we're making our way to Dun Nosebridge, an ancient Iron Age fort, and we've just come through this ancient woodland, really old woodland, so that's very appropriate for our visit this afternoon. We've climbed up out of the ancient woodland, and in front of us are the grassy Tullochie hills of the ancient Dune Nosebridge. Behind the fort in the distance are the hills of Jura. Islay has 80 documented ancient forts, and Dune Nosebridge is one of the biggest. The three-tiered ramparts are still very evident, and these would have encircled 2 deep ditches. The fort is thought to date from somewhere between 1000 BC and 1000 AD, but it has never been excavated, and its exact purpose is unknown, as it was probably built before the Viking raids on Islay, although they may well have been used to defend against later attacks. They may have been built as elaborate status symbols or to protect against inter-clan or family warfare based on land ownership and control. It is certain that people continued to live at the site well beyond the Iron Age, probably right up to the time of the clearances on Islay in the mid-19th century. Originally, a wall would have encircled this spacious summit as a final level of protection, and timber and turf buildings would have stood in the rectangular space. The commanding position in the midst of the fertile farmland of the Upper Lagan also offers excellent views of the main hills on Islay with their white quartzite rock caps. It's been a most interesting day in the Bowmore area. We started off by seeing a modern day whisky distillery and sampling some of its contents. We've seen a monument to a Victorian polymath, and we've climbed up to an ancient hill fort.